There we go. Post it up.
Just going here. Okay. We're live. I think I actually remembered this time, Angel, to put my microphone on. So hopefully people can hear me this time.
Definitely, definitely. Oh, I
So,
can see myself now.
first of
Wow.
all, happy Friday. Happy day after Thanksgiving, right?
Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
So, did you stuff yourself yesterday like everyone else? Like I know I did.
Actually, yeah, my wife did it. Oh, she overdid it. She did turkey. She did a whole chicken. We had the rice. We had the beans. We had like stuffing, egg salad. We had it all,
Now,
man.
what's
We
your
were
favorite?
stuffed.
See, my favorite thing actually of Thanksgiving is the stuffing. I mean,
Yeah,
turkey's good, but it's stuffing that I really, really like.
I know a lot of people are gonna hate me for saying this, but I'm not really a turkey guy, so I'll take a whole chicken over turkey anytime. But yeah, I mean stuffing is good. It's usually the stuffing. The macaroni salad is always the best too.
No, we didn't have any macaroni. We did make macaroni and cheese. That was pretty good. No
Was
macaroni
it?
salad though. But it was the first time. Um, just not having Thanksgiving at my house. I actually had it over at my girlfriend's house, and it actually went very, very well. She was panicking on how the day was going to be, but it turned out to be pretty well. Um,
She did all the cooking, or you helped her out?
she did the majority. My brother, he's the chef. You don't want me cooking. You do
Oh,
not want me cooking. Just telling you that right now. I can microwave Great White Castles, man. They're the best when I microwave them. But outside of that, you don't want me touching it. And we
I, I, I won't deny. I've been an expert at DoorDash.
and we were playing this game. It's like Habitat for Humanity, I think it's called. If anyone's heard of
Right.
that game, interesting game to have with the family. But it was good. So, but Thanksgiving once again has come and gone,
Right.
and we're on Black Friday, my friend. So, have you spent any money so far today?
Actually, yeah, we just got back from Walmart. I kind
Oh,
of I kind of raced back from Walmart. I was I didn't think they were still gonna have some stuff out, but I was able to grab myself a Super Mario Maker 2 for like $40
oh yeah,
for
I got that for my son a little while ago.
yeah, for the Switch. So I grabbed that. I think that was the only last game that I was missing from my collection.
Do you have you
So I
have
grabbed
wait?
that.
You have all the Switch games?
No, no. What I'm doing now is because of the way today is. where you can just download a game and get and, get a copy and stuff like that. I've decided to make this one system the only system that I don't modify. That that still gives me the joy of going to the store and buying a cartridge and getting something hard copy and stuff like that. So what I decided to do is I just decided to buy Nintendo related stuff like the Mario, the Metroid, the Zelda, anything Donkey Kong related, anything that just has the main characters for Nintendo. Like I won't go nuts. I know everybody goes crazy buying these Switch games,
They do,
but
and Nintendo's one of those companies you want to buy from because if you don't, they will sue you into the Stone Age. So it's probably smart you doing
hmm
it, Angel.
yeah, I mean that's the. I mean I had a modified Switch, but then I realized that it just got more of a hectic hassle just trying to get the game or download the game and then updating and a lot of updates and stuff like that. So I just said, you know what? Let me just sell it, get rid of it. I bought the Mario one and decided just keeps that stuff hard copy.
Nintendo's
I
keeping you
just
honest. I like it.
yeah, that's Nintendo and Xbox because even Xbox you can't even modify without definitely having some fun
Well,
with it.
another thing I want to say, everyone in the chat, first of all, thanks for joining. I never really promote the show. We're just on the Retro Buzz should be back next week, I believe, but
Right.
Steven and Doug are been tied up. But I have no life, so here we are. And I snookered Angel in to come on as well. So I hope you all had a good Thanksgiving, first of all.
Yeah, happy Thanksgiving to everybody. I didn't really post anything up yesterday, but happy Thanksgiving, happy birthday, happy anything that I missed,
Yeah, some people
before
probably
the
had their
year was out.
birthdays. Some people had their birthdays. One of my
Right.
employees at my day job, his birthday was actually on Thanksgiving. So happy Thanksgiving to Peter if he happens to be watching. And I want to have Angel on because Angel, has his disability upgrades, and I have a lot of his marquees, but you're looking to expand things, right? You're looking to do more than just marquees and
Yeah,
stuff.
I'm actually looking to do a little bit more with the community. I'm looking to do actually upgraded parts. I'm looking to have an option, give more of an option of extra parts that you guys would need. Control panels, riser kits, anything, that just I don't want to stay normal to the same thing. I want to start branching out and doing a lot more. So I'm also, looking to educate myself with a CNC machine and, you know, learning a lot of the terminology with a CNC machine and just keeping myself upgraded. The older you get, you got to upgrade yourself, so, as well mentally.
Right now, was all the stuff you're doing previously pretty much done by hand?
I actually outsourced a lot of my stuff, like my images and my frames, but everything else was put together by hand in the garage every day till like 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. So, and I have to say thank you to the community for keeping me strong for about 2 years already, 2.5 years. So, it's like I'm very humble, very humble.
So this is basically going to allow you to pretty much in-house more of the current products you make, but also expand out from there and offer some more things.
Yeah, exactly. I'm looking to do just more products, more. I've had a lot of people hit me up for the iArcade, so I've decided to buy myself an iArcade.
Yeah, they have a great
I
sale
got.
going on. Did you get it with the sale or no?
You want me to be honest with you, Glenn? Let me tell you a little story, a quick story. I bought the iArcade straight off their website, and I'm not gonna lie, I spent a good a penny for it, and I looked at it and I was like, I really don't need the riser, and I really don't need this, but I grabbed it, and then 2 days later, it was on Amazon for about $200 less. So I went and ordered that one, and I'm hoping to return this one. So if I get stuck with two of them, I might be selling one soon.
Well, we could probably talk to Zhang. I'm sure he can help you out as well. Zhang is really
Yeah,
good. And then if you guys don't know, iArcade, go to the website. They are actually having a spectacular sale right
yeah,
now
they are.
on their machine. I mean, if you're looking to get into the iArcade, which I think everyone in the community kind of agrees, it's a quality built machine. It's got a lot of games going for it, and the CEO Zhang is very with the community and making sure everything's up to date on it.
Yeah, I've explained to him the situation, and he's been on top of it with me. And he is I mean, awesome guy, real good guy to talk to,
He
and I
is,
really,
and right now, like I
really,
said, this
really.
is I think even cheaper than when they were on Kickstarter. I mean, I think it's
Hmm. Yeah, yeah. Well, I'm hoping everybody's hitting me up for those light up marquees for that, and I really want to get my hands into that so that I could see, more or less where I can manipulate some of the parts and put them somewhere else. I know the amp and the speakers up there, but I don't really think it's too much of work to do just to get a marquee in there. Yeah, yeah, right, right. hmm I'll be honest with you. I purchased the Marvel Pinball, which is still brand new in the box, and I have to modify that one. I purchased the Mortal Kombat 2 player, which I definitely wanted that. I mean, I even messaged John D about how great of a fan I am to the Mortal Kombat branch and stuff like that, the franchise and that. With them doing the countercade on that, that was just amazing. 'Cause like like I explained to a lot of people, I'm not a riser guy. I mean, I love the fact that I comfortably play these arcade one ups off the wheelchair so comfortably. I know a lot of people need risers and they need the stools and all that. I don't need all that stuff. I just need to be able to play comfortably, enjoy that time. So getting that was fun. And I just recently grabbed from QVC. I know it's an older model, the Asteroids Partycade, and they had it on sale for like a good 179. So I grabbed that as well. So I have both, all those three cabinets in my garage right now, waiting for me to tinker with for a little bit. Right.
So without the
Right.
riser, those are actually at a good height for you, right?
Yeah. I mean, I had a I had one of the At Games Legend, which I had for a while. It was a gift for last year's Christmas, and I had it in a corner collecting dust because it was just too uncomfortable to use or play, and I wanted to get into the At Games Legend community, so I wound up getting a mini instead. Long story short, instead of having to break, cut the bottom off and bringing it down to size, I just got rid of it. I didn't want to damage the machine or ruin it or mess it up. So I went and gave it away or sold it. I sold it to somebody and just got me an At Games Legend Mini. So I'm able to play that on the TV. So I'm still in the community with that, but I'm just not in the uncomfortable situation where I have to uncomfortably play, because I gotta support these people. I love this community to death. I was just saying to myself the other day how humbling it is to get a message from even a customer from way back in the beginning just telling me, "Hey, happy Thanksgiving. Hope your family's doing well." And these are people that I probably didn't speak to for months, on end, but they still embrace you and give you the love that, it's just like having a big family right now. So it's wonderful.
Now I'm going to stop for a second. People are saying in the chat again they can't hear me, but you can hear me, right?
Yeah, I can hear you.
So I don't know why they can't hear me once again. I'm not muted. According to, I'm going to, was I ask, you can ask them if you can for me. Was I working at all? Because my thing says my mic is working.
Hey guys, Glenn wants to know if his mic was working at least in the beginning of the show. I'm gonna put you up on the TV, see if I can hear you.
Says my mic is working. You can
I
hear
can
me.
hear you on the I can hear you on the if his mic was working at least in the beginning of the show. Yeah, I can hear you on the TV.
Yeah, I don't know
So it's
why.
working.
Maybe they should turn the headphones on. I don't know because it looks like it's working over here. So
Yeah.
actually, I could turn mine on as well. Let's see.
If his mic was it says it is now. At least in the beginning of the show. I'm gonna put you up on the TV, see if I can
Let's
hear you.
see.
My mic is working. You can I can hear you on the
Yeah, it's working. I don't know why people. I think people are playing an April
Yeah.
Fool's joke on me. I wouldn't be surprised, but my mic is working. That's weird. They're saying
Yeah,
it's, you know what? Again, Angel, it isn't a Glenn's Retro Show live stream if something doesn't screw up. So I don't know.
all right.
My system said my microphone was working. I don't know. So they can hear me now. We're good. So I think what we're talking about before about the the arcade one up. the fact that it does require a riser for some people is actually
Hmm.
good that it's not there for other people who are shorter or have, they're in a wheelchair or younger kids. And that's actually,
Right.
I think, something we never really talked about. It was always, I want it to be higher, I need it to be taller, bigger. But there's an advantage to having to add something for that for people who need it shorter.
Yeah. But I'm also seeing a lot that the more we ask for, the more it gets expensive, you know? I mean, it's Arcade One Up has to fulfill the demands of people that want it a certain way, but it's not going to be cheap, guys. I mean, this is the way it is. I mean, and you got to accept it like that. I mean, don't get me wrong. I would like to have that option to choose. I guess you have to wait it out and see if Walmart or Target throws a SKU like what like how they call it, a SKU that doesn't offer that stuff, and wait it out like that. But then you get stuck in that community where you are the last one to get the last cabinets. So either you buy it now and get it the way it is, or you wait it off and get whatever's left over. So
Now, what do you think? I mean, I saw, Thanksgiving was yesterday. We talked about that, but apparently it was also Tron Day. So,
was it?
so Thanksgiving of 2021 was also Tron Day because a lot of people were getting their Arcade One Up Tron units. And I have to admit, from what I've seen people posting, I think they may have hit their second gold mine. The Star Wars, the arcade game when they came out was a great machine. It was a beautiful looking cabinet, great controller, great emulation. And from what I've been seeing people putting together their Tron units, I'm taken back a little bit just because it really does look good, not just from aesthetics, but the backlighting they put in there. There's a backlight on top shining down. The artwork has a glow to it. The Tron stick and spinner look really, really good. So I think they may have another hit on their hands. And even the box, again, I'm probably the only person in the world that cares about the boxes, Angel. No one else, they rip them up and throw them out. But I want to keep the boxes. And even the box with the Tron artwork, I mean, it looks really, really good. Have you had any idea if you're going to pick one of these up, or you're not a Tron guy and it's not really for you?
I jumped on the Killer Instinct bandwagon. I grabbed that one. That one I grabbed when it came out. Tron, I didn't grab because like I said, I'm very limited on space in the room that I put my cabinets in that
Right.
I want to play with. So I only have like space for two cabinets. I have the Street Fighter that's gonna get removed for the Killer Instinct, and Mortal Kombat Legacy is still in the garage, and I don't know if I want to take it out and open it up because I'm afraid that if I do that, then they're gonna tell me Mortal Kombat with Wi-Fi comes out next year. So then, you know, so it's like I'm playing devil's advocate. Leave it in the box and wait it out, but at least I know I have it. I have it in the garage and it's there, or take it out and have to sell it fully, built and stuff like that to somebody to get the other
Well, I
Mortal
think
Kombat.
I think that's actually part of Arcade One Up's strategy is
Of
they are
course.
going to re-release these consoles with these little upgrades here. And you know what? Michael B is probably the biggest guy for this because he's pretty much bought everything. But he'll sell the old one, get some money back to buy the new one.
Right.
There are people like me. I just can't get myself to let it go like a kid. I can't let it go, but I need to because I do think that at some point I'll probably catch that Tron on sale, and I'm going to want that Tron unit. I mean, to me, that is a gorgeous cabinet I want to add to my collection for sure. And I made my own Tron cabinet. I built it, and I love that too. But
Man, if anyone that deserves a Tron cabinet, it is you, Glenn. I'm definitely.
well, I'm not saying for them to
I'm
give me
sure.
one. I'm going to go buy it, but I don't want to spend that much money. At some point, we'll catch it. I'll catch it on sale somewhere, and get it. But I do think that arcade one up strategy is going to be is they're going to release, like the Defender that came out now, right? The Defender was originally on the Rampage cabinet, and
Right.
it's a beautiful cabinet. Again, I know there's been some problems with the side gate, with those sides kind of people's hands hitting it. But
Right.
I
Right.
think you will see that these cabinets with multiple machines on it, like Sinistar, I think it's on the that Mortal Kombat Legacy cabinet. I think it's on there. So you may
Right.
see a Sinistar cabinet come out maybe a year or two later. The game, all the same games on it, but it'll be a Sinistar cabinet. And I'm actually okay with that because early adopters. You're an early adopter. If you're buying it now, you can't be mad at Arcade One Up for changing something down the line.
Of course
And
not.
I do believe that Arcade One Up strategy should be to make the artwork in the cabinet for a particular machine. It's not a multicade. Starting to do a little bit now with these legacy cabinets. And that's why I'm personally fine with 2 games on Tron, because that's what I would want. It's worth me getting those 2 games. Now you said you had the At Game Legends Ultimate at one point. And that would have been your multicade, right? That's what you would have went to
Yeah,
play everything on. But when you want
yeah,
to play
exactly.
Street Fighter, where'd you go? You went to Arcade One Up, right?
Of course, of course. I mean, yeah, Street Fighter was the first one I grabbed, and not because I'm a fan, but I definitely wanted to learn the tinkering and the playing around with it. So, and come on, guys, a small arcade in your own home, like back in the days when you were younger. This is like they say you can't go back in time, but you could definitely pay for your past, and you could definitely put money on a price on your past where you can relive it all over again. And having these cabinets in your house is just like reliving your past, living that moment in the arcade room, and spending those quarters and dropping money down on every game over and over and over again.
Well, that's the thing, and that's where these companies are getting us. It is the nostalgia factor, totally. I mean, all of us as kids, whether it be our generation or other generation, there was something that would take them back to a time when they felt like they were the happiest. They were carefree. You were just having
Yep.
fun with your friends. For us, it would have been the 80s and those arcades. So that's where they're getting us. But what you talked about before, and I've said this a multitude of times, is having multiple cabinets looks great, but not when the cookie cutter. I mean, back when it first came out, there was nothing else, so we were happy with it. But we really want each cabinet to have its own soul. Like the Miss Pac-Man should
Yeah.
have its look. The Tron has its look. The new Mortal Kombat, the new Centipede they teased, the
Right.
Tempest unit has its look. That's really what gets you like this and pulls you, because that's part of it. I actually before my basement got ruined, I had stereo speakers there playing there's a CD of just old game sounds. Like you walk into an arcade, you see all the arcade sounds playing in the background.
Right. Right.
That was it, and that is, like I said, happy time. It is. Now I have to ask you, Angel, because you are married, right? And I'm assuming happily married. So
Of course.
how does the how does the wife take your hobby with all these
Oh
things and everything?
man, if I could show you, if I could show you the room, I'd probably get hit. I have the arcade one up table, their table, their infinity table, right here, sitting in the corner over here behind me. I have the 2 cabinets, and like I have a corner, just a strict corner in what we call the retreat area of the bedroom. So it's like literally with my soldering stuff and my gadgets and my systems and everything, she takes it with a grain of salt, as I think the way they say it. So she allows me a little bit, but you got to see her room. I mean, she has her own room in the house, totally pinked out with, I think, every genre of stuff that out there. Like I would love to do a tour of her room, but I think she would kill me because she thinks it's messy. But she has everything from Disney to pops to horror. I mean, it's just a crazy room, and
Does
so my little
she
corner.
does she partake a little bit in your games? Is there a game that she'll come in and play you with? Like should she wipe the
Oh,
floor with Street Fighter with you?
she's got a Miss Pac-Man in the room as well, so that one's hers, and she's got the Pac-Man and Miss Pac-Man countercades in her little secret room. But yeah, she plays. She plays. She definitely gets down on me on the games with me, and especially the Infinity Table. The whole family will get together and play Life and just spend the whole night enjoying it. I mean, you can actually say this family is an arcade one-up family. This is like the biggest arcade one-up family that's out there for
Well, that's
that I
that's
know of.
that's the
'Cause-
thing, and I think that's where At Games is trying to get into with their smaller machine, because when they sell you an At Game Legends Ultimate, that's it. I mean, they have all different types of machines, but they're basically the exact same machine, the exact same game, just different ways to play it. Where most of the people, Michael B, myself, uh, Nostalgia, everyone else that we know have multiple arcade one-ups. The problem is not so much we don't want to buy more or get more. The problem is space. Where are we
yeah,
going to put them all? And that's definitely been a problem for me, even before I had the flood down here. And I know Michael B has been, I don't know how his wife's doing it, with him. He goes to the brick and he comes home with like 5 more things every day. I don't know where this guy's sticking it. But that's
Right.
the other part of the challenge of the hobby is when is enough
When it's
enough,
time to stop. Yeah.
right? Or
I mean,
or
it's
sell
kind of
them.
it's kind of difficult. I think it's very difficult. You have to know you have to live within your means in a sense that you got to know exactly what. I mean, because I'll go to a Walmart or a Target, and I'll see something that just grabs my attention and just says, yes, that's my childhood right there. I have to have it. Like a Voltron, I'll have Voltron or I'll have a He-Man or those little things that just makes you go back in time and enjoy that moment in life, like you said, carefree. And I don't know if you agree with me or not, but don't you remember Thanksgiving being always on the 24th or something like that? Like nowadays it's like is a
It seemed to
certain.
fall on that. It's always got to be a Thursday though. It's
Yeah, it's
Thanksgiving
always a
Thursday.
Thursday, and it just I back in the days I remember it always being the 24th and the 25th, or the 24th, 26th, or the 26th even. But it's just crazy how the further and further, the older and older you get,
Well,
it's
I
just
have to admit I was more shocked because when I was growing up as a little kid, a holiday or Sundays, stores were closed. You went out on a Sunday into town, every store was closed. It was a ghost town. But of course,
right,
as
right.
years went on, Walmart's and these other stores, they're open 24 hours a day and they're open.
Hmm.
But yesterday, we ran out of a couple of things and I had to run out to get a couple of items and stores were actually closed. I mean, I'm happy for them. I really am happy. I'm like, oh my God, but you guys are never closed to go to these stores. So it made it a little more difficult, but I'm happy people were able to enjoy, yesterday and enjoying their holiday. Um,
Right, right.
but, when I need an extension cord to connect the machine, I want my extension cord, buddy. Keep that store open a few more minutes for me.
Yeah, exactly. I hear you. Especially when you want something desperately and you can't, and then they'll throw those Black Friday sales on the computer,
Well,
and
that's
you're
it.
looking at it like, damn, I gotta get this. I gotta get this.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what you were talking about a second ago. Walmart is good and bad. Now, I do go in there once in a while looking for something, a deal. And that was maybe during the summer. They had was it like a Robbie the Robot? They had
Hmm.
Iron Giant. It was like, fairly big, and it had sounds. And they had the Forbidden Planet, Robbie the Robot, right? And they were, again, fairly big. And I put them in like $20. I put them in the cart, and I'm just like, I really wanted these things, but I'm like, I don't have space for them, and I ended up putting them back. Now you can't get them. They were there, now they're gone. And that's what kind of
Today,
sucks now with collecting is you. I mean, I don't have a wife right now to say why'd you spend the money on there? It's my money. I could do what I want. But it's getting to the point now where I'm just like, I would love to have it. It's cool. I wanted it as a kid, but I just don't have the space for it. And I guess, where's that line drawn? I guess it's different for everyone. And I guess I've kind of hit that line now where I'm like, you know what? I've had so much. I had stuff wiped out. Do I want to build up a collection again and have something else, wipe out my collection again? It's just, it's
yeah,
hard.
yeah, of course. I mean, I totally understand that, man. When Sandy hit me in New York, I had a lot of stuff I had to throw out, and it was just heartbreaking to just. I mean, it takes a toll on you mentally and emotionally because this is the stuff you grew up with, and then to lose it all in one swipe. But I guess the thrill is to start all over and enjoy the hunt again and do it all over again.
So, what currently, out of everything you have, whether it be a video game or something else, what's your most prized collection that you currently have? And what is something you would like to get your hands on but have not been able to?
My most prized collection, I mean, it's really the console stuff. Like I love the console stuff. The Nintendo console stuff is like my most pride. I have an original Nintendo. I have the original Super Nintendo. Like I've always collected Nintendo since day one. What I would love to get my hands on right now is the Halo Edition limited Xbox Series X, because I'm also a Halo fan.
Halo, I got to tell you, I didn't buy the Xbox when it first came out. I didn't. I was a Nintendo guy back then as well. But my friends kept telling me how good this game was, how good this game was. So for my son, I actually bought the Xbox, but it was some animal game. It was like you with a Kinect. You went in, you could pet the animals with the Kinect. Of course, my son didn't care at all because it wasn't Minecraft. So I'm like,
Right.
okay. So I got this Xbox. I'm gonna buy this Halo and Gears of War. And man, I agree. Halo, I love Halo. It's one of the few games that I actually played through multiple times, to better myself, and Gears of War as well. But
Yeah.
the last Xbox I have is a 360. I never bought anything past a 360, so I can't play anything newer.
Right. Right. Right.
But that is a very good game.
Yeah, Halo's pretty good. And you and I got a lot in common. I started out with an Atari 2600 way back then, and it's like that was my first bite to the bug of video games. Like Atari 2600, I had the Missile Command, the tanks, the Kung Fu. Like I've had all those classic ones, and I loved it. And unfortunately, being young and naive, I sold it
I
to
did the
buy myself
same.
a skateboard and some. I sold it to get gifts for the family, and I regret it now. And to get one now, to find one now, it's that's another hard thing to
It is.
do.
I mean, the 2600 is still not too bad, but like the 5200 or the 7800 or the XE, like I've been trying to get my hands on an Atari ST for like 15 years, but I'm not spending that kind of money on a machine. So that's on me for not getting it. But I think everyone should own like a either a 2600 or an Odyssey 2 or an Intellivision, one of those old machines, because that's really like first generation that you really get an appreciation, good or bad. I mean, some people say the graphics and sound were horrible, and comparable to now, they
Yeah.
are. But there was a simple charm to those games, and again, maybe it's just we're older. I don't know, but just sitting down there and just getting one or two buttons and nothing else, and a direction pad, and a game you
Hmm.
pop it in. You don't have to wait half hour for 5 downloads of patches to come down the pike to play
Exactly.
it.
My number one game was Berserk back then. Like that one was crazy, just to try to manipulate the board without getting electrified or shot or captured. That was just it.
And the 2600 actually did it very well. The only thing missing was the speech, but the gameplay was very well done, and the robots looked perfect in comparison to the arcades. It's one of those games that did transition very well. Um, but and the big thing is if something does happen, if Armageddon was to happen, the 2600 would run off a 9-volt battery. So one solar panel would run your game, just like in The Walking Dead. I remember they had it
Right.
playing in there. So you won't be playing your Xbox needing like 3 amps of power. You'll be paying a 2600 back then.
That was just a
So you're
great time.
talking about the 2600. Was that the first or the oldest machine you played?
That's the very first and oldest machine I've ever owned. Yeah, 2600. It was gifted to me by a relative, and then from there I had to beg. I think have you seen the movie 8-Bit Christmas yet?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I had this similar type of story where my mom couldn't get me the Nintendo, so I had to beg my godfather to give it to me. Like he was able to give me the money for it, so I got that. So that was pretty cool. But after that, Nintendo, Super Nintendo, anything Nintendo related was was up there. I think I owned a PlayStation for a little bit. Then I went to the PS2. Like I've done my PlayStation setups, but it was always either Nintendo over Sega Genesis. I don't know why, but I never was a Sega Genesis guy.
I had the Sega Genesis. They had a couple of games I enjoyed, like Streets of Rage series. I liked on it. The first Sonic the Hedgehog game I liked, and a few others. But the Sega was really like a sportsman's console,
Type of game.
and
Yeah.
I wasn't that much into sports. I was more at that point the TurboGrafx 16 because it had shoot 'em ups and Ease, that type of role playing game. So I agree. A lot of people have like Doug, obviously, cool toy. Will battle me to the end on the Sega Genesis being better. Um, and it definitely has its fans. There's no question. It was the most popular 60-bit console for a long time. And
Right, right.
if Sega didn't step over its own feet and making like 5,000 consoles and releasing them and then canceling them, they probably would have held on to that number one spot a little bit longer. So speaking of
But
that
now,
now, okay, go ahead, go
now
ahead.
as an adult, now, I'm sorry. Now as an adult, I have them all, like the little mini consoles. Like I had the Sega Genesis Mini. I have the this PlayStation Mini. Like I had to replace a lot of stuff I lost in Sandy with the mini stuff. But but I had to get me an original Nintendo and Super Nintendo and all that. I had to get the original stuff, so I had to grab that the N64. Those are like
Are
the
you
only
a
favorite
front
consoles.
loader NES or a top loader NES?
What do you mean? Oh, the NES one is
Yeah,
a front loader, not the top
yeah.
one.
I
Hell
agree. The
no.
front loader is the way.
I like to have that top. And yeah, I mean, I can't. I never. That was never a Nintendo to me. That top loader one, I couldn't stand that. Like, I didn't get
Yeah,
it.
they had the dog
And I
bone
was one of those kids that
controller.
blew.
It just didn't. It wasn't right.
Yep, I was one of those kids that blew the joystick and stuff like. I mean, not the joystick, the cartridges. I blew the joystick just like. I mean, the cartridges just like everybody else. I mean, who didn't?
Now it's kind of funny. People that know us, like I live in New York, right? And you were in New York too for
Right.
a while, right? Weren't you, Angel?
Yeah, I was in. I just recently moved to Florida about 6 years ago, so I was in there all my life, and I'm 49
Okay,
now.
so when the NES first came out, New York was one of the pilot states. So I got
Right.
one of the very first, literally, it was their very first machines that had come out. It was at Toys R Us, not Toys R Us, I'm sorry, Toys and Sports Warehouse, TSW, that was in town. And I picked it up. And a fun fact to people that know this, that the first US NESs had the Famicom cartridges in the cartridge, and Nintendo put an adapter in there to change the pinouts. So if you were to actually open up some of the older cartridges, you can actually get a changer to use the Famicom cartridge right in your NES. Versus then of course they changed it later to save money to make the cartridges the right way. But it's just kind of funny how they didn't really rush it to market because they had the like 3 years of the console in Japan and trying to market it here. And America at that time had to crash. No one wanted it. They had to partner with Worlds of Wonder and had to kind of like, if you want Teddy Ruxpin, you got to buy this NES from this company, and then it just took off from there. Boom. So now with the stuff you're doing now, Angel, like what is the project you're most excited about when you're doing them? I mean, I know you still do the marquees, and that's a big part of what you do. But what are you passionate about when you're working on it? Because I assume some of it's become
Uh,
work versus fun work.
Actually, learning new stuff. Like, I like to be able to learn the new software and learning the new terminologies of what I do, of what I got to be done and how it's got to be done. So like, I'm cranking at the computer almost every day, like 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, just learning Corel. Like, I just started learning Corel. I started learning the CNC software. And I got to be honest with you, I'm this old now where I actually learned how to read measuring tape, you know, to the fraction. Like, I'm like, wow, like, it took me all these years to actually learn how to read a measuring tape to the fraction, to the 132, to the 116, to 1/8, 1/4, and 1/2. Like, I'm like literally learning all this stuff. And I'm a knowledge guy. I love to learn. I love to pick up new things, and I get it through a lot of learning new stuff that I do. And you and I had talked earlier during the week about resistors, and I was able to get some resistors and test out LED lights like that, and how to bring down the surge from 12 to 5, and learning all that and getting it to work right. It's just, I love all that stuff.
Now, this machine you got, is it like big? Is it taking up your whole garage? The CNC machine?
Which one? It's gonna be a 24 by 36
That's
machine.
pretty.
It's not that
That's
big.
pretty big.
Yeah, I guess I gotta see it in person. I haven't seen it in person,
Yeah, wait, you haven't
but
seen
I
anything in
know.
person yet?
Nope, that's the whole major goal next week. I'm definitely gonna go learn the class, and I know they're gonna sell me on it right off the back, but that's me. I'm a compulsive shopper, so I'll grab it right off the back.
Man, I hope you have room.
No, I'm gonna have to make room. I already took my motorcycles out of the garage and put them in storage, so I have to make room because this is something I really want to get into more and more. Like, my passion is just to try to keep myself busy, keep myself humble, keep the community happy with a lot of the things I do, because it's really them and you guys that drive me, that keep me going. I
Well,
mean,
it's I
every
think
morning it's
everyone
always
holds each other up. I mean, that's kind of what we do. The community always has its dark parts of it. We always have some of that. but the majority is very positive, and people speak very highly of you,
Yeah.
Angel, and the work that you do.
And I appreciate every statement, every comment out there. I mean, of course, there's always, and it's funny at our age right now, still getting bullied on the internet over the dumbest things. But you gotta just brush it off and keep going, because with every one bad comment, there's like 10 other good ones that keep you going. And there'll be days one stupid comment will just close me down and not want me to do anything or not want me to. But then I get that one uplifting one and I just keep going.
I say
You
I
gotta
hear
keep
you
it
with
going.
that, because there's always the saying, the squeaky wheel, gets the oil, and generally people are much quicker to post or attack in a negative way. But once in a
Hmm.
while, I mean, it brings you down. I mean, I'm not going to lie. That stuff brings you down to a point like, why am I subjecting myself to this negativity? Why am I subjecting myself to this when I could be doing so many other things? And then you get one or two people to say, Glenn, I really appreciate, or Angel, I really appreciate, what you guys are doing. You made me so happy. My family's so happy. And that kind of kicks you right back up to take on the next onslaught of the people who are negative, and it's tough. I mean, I personally appreciate. I tell all the people all the time. I appreciate everyone like down in the chat,
Right.
people in all the groups. That's why I'm doing this. I have all these Facebook groups and doing all these things. I am not making well, I shouldn't say I'm not making a dime. I'm making a little bit, but trust me, it turns out to be almost nothing by the time I'm shipping stuff out. But I do it because I
Right.
want people to have this group where people can talk and enjoy their passions, but also get people like you, Joe Sabo, Arcade Graphics, Tulsa Arcades, and YouTubers, all kind of like get together and actually talk and build on each other and make us stronger together than we would be just home playing on a TV downstairs. And it's been a rough ride. And you know me for a long time. It's been a rough ride.
Right.
And there's been many times I've thrown my hands up in the air. I'm like, why am I bothering? And then you or someone comes along the lines and you prop me up. And that's what friends do. And that's what community members do. And I appreciate you and them and everyone else.
Yeah, Glenn, this is your show. Let's ask you a couple of
No, I
questions.
don't want to answer any questions.
Um, Come on, let's ask you a couple of questions. Tell me a little bit about what got you into this? What got you into the show and doing the retro buzz and all that?
Stephen actually picked me up on the retro bus. I'll talk about that second. I did this honestly at the time when I started this. This is my 8th year doing it,
Right.
and my son was at the time he was like 7.5, 8 years old, and I wanted to kind of do
Right.
something with
Right.
him, and I was just trying to do this with him, and that's why my logo is the way it is. It's me, Blue, and my son Cole. But like anything, an 8-year-old turns into a 12, 13, 14-year-old, and it's like, Dad, that's not cool. And he's out doing his own thing. So I originally was doing it for
Yeah.
him, just to spend time with him and showing him that if you have a passion for something, do it regardless of, if anyone else cares. Because that's how you get somewhere in life. It's got to be, you can't just do a cookie cutter, go to work and just do it. You got to find what you enjoy and try to make something of that. And even if it doesn't turn out to anything, you tried. And that's the big thing. You
Right.
tried. And I want to instill in my son and maybe anyone else who watches the show, just if 1,000 people could tell you something is stupid, don't do it. You're wasting your time. But they are not you. You need to go with your heart and you need to find what you enjoy and you go with it. And that's how you're going to make it in life. You can't go by other people telling you you're wrong, it's dumb, or you'll never make it. Because you know what? Then you won't. You need to find in your heart what you'll put on this earth to do. And it's not to do what
Right.
other
Right.
people tell you to do. Your heart, your mind tells you what that is. So that's a long-winded answer as to why I'm doing what I'm doing. And then
Right.
in doing all this, Steven from the Tech Buzz saw some of my videos right around, when At Games was trying to come out with the Legends Ultimate. And we said we should do a live show. And we did a couple of those shows. And then Cool Toy joined. And we had some other people join the show too. And personally, I would like to have a huge panel. I mean, of people. But I think Super Game Room Dudes is now doing that, which is great. They're on there and they have some really good people on that show
Right. Right.
to keep it on. And that's all they really care about. I mean, if I was to die tomorrow, which I'm hoping I don't. But if I was to die tomorrow, I would at least be happy to know that there are some good people here. I built up something here that's kind of growing beyond me, which is fine. Um, and I'm just hope people are enjoying it and people to stand together and back each other up. That's the bigger thing, So don't tear each other
Right,
people
right.
down. I see those stupid comments. Someone did a game room and they did the best they could and they really were proud of it. And someone makes a stupid comment, and there's no need for that. You just tell them that, yeah, it's great.
Right.
You did a great job. I just think people would be better doing that than tearing down. But you and I both know the internet and things along those lines, it's drama, and people rather see arguments. And I've definitely had my share of those, and I've tried to steer away from them if I can.
Yeah, I mean, you have to just brush it off. I mean, if not, it's gonna control you. It's like little statements and little situations always wind up making you feel less of yourself, and that's not even worth it. So,
Right.
but what about your collection? Like, what is, or what was, or what's your biggest prize thing that you own or owned,
Well,
or
there's my stupid thing I did when I was younger. If people know the Intellivision, Mattel had come out with it was actually called a keyboard component, and it was like $600 device. You actually took your Intellivision, and it went inside this case, had a cassette drive built into it, had a beautiful keyboard. It was a real powerful
right,
machine, but it was too
right,
expensive. There was only, I think, 200 made, and I'd worked in a video store back in the day. I was very young, and they were going to throw it out because Mattel decided they were canceling it, come out with a crappier keyboard. So I had that,
hmm,
and I went to get a motorcycle. I traded some kid $200 for it. I bought myself a motorcycle, and that thing is so rare now. It'll go for like $10,000, $20,000. There's only maybe like 15 in the world.
Jesus,
So that was one. The other one that I was extremely proud to have in my collection got ruined in the flood, and that was my NES Pro Play Arcade. And that was sold back in 1990, 91 at Toys R Us. And you took your NES and you put it in basically an arcade console. It was an arcade cabinet. And your Nintendo went in
right,
there.
right,
And there wasn't very many in the world, especially in pristine condition. And mine was in pristine condition. And I couldn't get out here in time with a flood. So, I mean, a foot, if you look at it from a foot above, it's fine. But the foot down, it's all like swollen up. So
right.
I've been toying with the idea,
Wow.
and maybe we could talk about it offline somewhere because I know you'll have some skills. Is I might have to make it slightly unoriginal and make two new sides for it, to get it back to
Yeah,
condition.
definitely,
So those are it.
definitely.
But I'm 52 now, and when the flood did happen, you guys you've seen my basement how it was with all the stuff I had down here, and most of it is okay. The big stuff was like the arcade one-ups, the Legends Ultimate. Those are the ones that got hit with the water. The one good thing again with arcade one-up, I'll put it out there. Power supplies are on the floor, so those are definitely not going to be good. They were definitely underwater. But the risers saved the actual cabinets. Now, unfortunately, not all my arcade one-ups were on risers, but the ones that were like Star Wars, my Tron, and a couple other ones that were on
Right,
risers, those cabinets should be completely fine because they were
right,
kept
right,
up. So that's another thing to think about. Having a separate riser because the Legends Ultimate is one. It's actually two pieces, but that one solid piece in the bottom got in the water. And I will say that the II Arcade, since it had big rubber feet, I was able to lift it up on something where it was out of the water. So the II Arcade also survived it. Um, but
nice.
yeah, it's a sucky thing. I'm going to say it again. If anyone has State Farm, or first of all, they suck. They really do. They Jake from State Farm. If I see you, I'm going to kick you in the balls till Jupiter
Ah,
because they see
oh
these
wow.
commercials. And they're like, oh, we're always here. We're here to help you guys in times of need. No, they're not. They're here to take your money and find every way not to pay what's in your contract. Because it's very clear in my contract I had coverage, and I called them before I called anyone here to do any work, and they said, "Yep, you're covered." So I called Air Care Environmental, and Mary came out, and they were great. Air Care Environmental came out here, did a wonderful job. I can't fault them for anything. They also checked and said, "Yeah, you have coverage." And then State Farm goes, "Yeah, no, we're not covering it." Like, what do you mean you're not covering it?
Wow.
So that's a whole nother ball of wax. But I would just say check now with your insurance companies if you have a collection in a spot, and make sure you are really covered versus them saying yeah, you're covered, and then not be.
I guess with nowadays you have to start recording everything you do and say with people because that's the way they do it with you.
Right.
They record you and make sure that you're on a recorded line and
Well,
you
that's
know
it too.
better just don't.
And I when I call them, and normally I do when I call those people, I'll use an app on my phone to record the conversation. But I was a mess. I was up till like
I
3:30.
bet.
Actually, I didn't. I was up all night, but I was up till 3:30 pumping water from 11 o'clock at night to 3:30 in the morning pumping water out, and then I was just getting out what I could all night. So I'm not thinking about it at that point. But you know what? You live and you learn. I'm okay. Cole's okay. Blue, thanks to the community. Community Blue is okay. That's the really important stuff. This stuff is material stuff. We enjoy them. It brings back good memories, but it's more important that your family, your friends, I would trade all my stuff here to help someone versus, hoarding it to myself. I know people say, sure, Glenn, that's full of shit. I would. I think it's a lesson I had to learn the hard way, perhaps, sometimes, but it's material. It's material things. People you can't replace. You can't replace friends. You can't replace pets,
Right.
but you can replace an Atari. You can replace, a computer.
Now you just recently had a convention you went to, right?
It was the first one in a long time. It was the Retro World Expo in Connecticut, and it was really nice. A lot of YouTubers I've talked to but not physically met. I met up with Metal Jesus Rocks, and he totally forgot me. He's like, "Who are you?" I'm like, "Glenn. Glenn's Retro Show." He goes, "I apologize, man. I see a lot of people." So I said, "It's okay, dude. It's okay." But I met him, and we talked for a while, which was really cool. I know actually Metal Jesus through the immortal John Hancock, who does remember me.
Right,
Thankfully,
right,
immortal John Hancock remembers me. And
right.
Drunken Master Paul, who's hysterical. He's more on Twitch. But if you ever watch Drunken Master Paul, he has a new drink every show he comes out on. He's hysterical, a really good guy. I met the Norman, the gaming historian, and and he
Yeah, I
seems. Let me
like
tell you
him.
something
I
right
see.
now.
I saw
Let
the
me tell you something
video.
right now.
Huh?
He seems like a really nice guy. He portrays like he's a really nice guy. Then you meet the friggin' guy, he's even nicer. he's he's a
Wow.
really Norman was a really nice guy. There was some guy like talking to him. Like I'm a bit of a nerd. I'm talking like a super nerd, like really talking to him,
Right,
and
right.
he for like an hour. And Norm was polite. He just kept answering his questions, and we walked away. He wasn't like Jesus Christ. I couldn't get rid of that guy. He was really nice. Pixel Dan, hysterical, very fun guy, great guy to talk to. Pat the NES punk, met him, talked to him for a little while. Pat,
Yeah, I saw his book
yeah,
there.
he's Pat the NES punk. He's just doing his thing, but he still made time to talk to me, and I appreciate it. And My Life in Gaming, talked to those guys as well. And
Yeah, a lot of those guys that you saw in person, I follow as
yeah,
well, and it was like, wow, it was
well, it's a good
amazing.
thing, because when you talk to them, I'm on YouTube. I've been doing it for 8 years. Of course, I want to have a million subs. It's funny. I'm friends with um, God, I can't think of his name right now. This is what happens when you get old. You forget things. Um,
You got to write
Mad
things
Little
down.
Pixel. There we go. Sorry, Mad Little Pixel.
Right.
I'm friends with him. When I started my channel, he had probably like 3,000 or 4,000 subs, and I was just starting out. And he had about 10,000, and I had about 5,000. But then Soldier Boy came out. He was doing video, and he's over 114,000. He's like way way up there. And you always say, why not me? Why not me? And then you got to start sitting back and you know what? That's not even what it's supposed to be. Just do videos, just create content, and if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Um, but it's funny how I knew someone who's so small and took off, and he's up there like John Hancock's over 100,000 subs as well, and they pump out a ton of content. Now me, I'm a single parent. I work a lot of hours at the job. I have to feed my kid and do stuff around the house. I can't pump videos out like that. So you know what? Sometimes you go, you know what? It's okay. I still have 7,500 people enjoy my content, or at least pretend to enjoy my content. And that's okay. But again, sometimes you got to learn it because you don't realize it. You're always trying to better yourself. You're always trying to do it versus sitting back
Yep.
and just saying, you know what? I should be enjoying what I have, not what I don't have. And sometimes you got to learn that all over again. Sometimes.
Right. Exactly. You got to enjoy the fruits of your labors.
And it was kind of cool. I have, there's certain people that join here in the chat. I have Hollywood Polo, Meatball Saucy, Sonic Fun, Jen is out there, Stardust. A lot of these people, Papa Bear's Gaming. It's just good to see those guys coming in once in a while because those are people who support you. And it's really appreciated when they do join that. And I know a lot of these people also probably bought your products, Light Up Marquees, out there. And, Angel, I can tell you right now, Angel is one of the good guys as well. He's not just a facade. He really is a gentle soul. He really is a caring person. And I've seen people go, attack him too. And he's always tries to still be, okay, listen, I'm not coming at you, man. Just trying to settle stuff and we're good. And people still come after him. But Angel is an honest and general soul. So if you do look for any one of his products, I'm going to tell you right now, it's worth it. He's a really good guy. And I would definitely say give Angel a shot and purchase some of his stuff.
Yeah, I had to learn my hard lessons as well because at first I was very defensive. I was very, I would always attack. I mean, there was times I even argue with somebody, while coming out of the shower through text, and I'm like, just time. I got some good advice from you guys, and you just gotta stay quiet, let it be, let other people defend you instead of you trying to defend yourself because it's just pointless. I mean, people got their opinions, they got their opinions, and that's how it is.
It is. And some people don't care about your opinion. They literally just want to start an argument to get that kind of attention going. And that's the hardest part to realize that. 'Cause sometimes someone could really be upset legitimately, and you're trying to talk to them and try and be, listen, I'm not meaning to come at you, just let's talk it out. But then you find out, no, they really are just there to stir that pot and get a rise out of you and say, look, everyone, this guy really is a jerk. And, it's a shame, but that's just how the internet is.
You have to get the worst out of you, but that's fine. It is what
I gotta tell you,
I mean, you can't have you gotta have to go
the Super Game Room dudes will be going at 9:00, and I have to hop over to that show. So I want to give you the last couple minutes, Angel. Anything you want to tell the community about what you're working on, what you're doing, what you want to do? Let the community know.
Well, a lot of stuff coming out. Hopefully for the next year for 2022. I do want to do a little quick plug for a buddy of mine, Laramie Griffith. I don't know if you know.
Yeah,
him.
I do.
Yeah, he's doing the Buck Hunters. I know I said I would come out and do one, but he got there ahead of me, and that's, give him your love and support. Definitely reach out to him if you're looking for a Buck Hunter marquee. He's got that one out there, so you can reach out to him. Other than that, I mean, I'm just looking for new stuff to do 2022 and keep myself busy and lots of love, and very humble to everybody that's kept me this strong. I mean, my name is still relevant, and I appreciate everyone for
Very
that.
relevant. And actually, you're in Florida, and one of my very good friends lives down in Florida. So when I take a visit down there, I'll let you know.
Yeah, you gotta
We'll
come.
over.
You
We're
gotta
gonna
come.
party.
You're always
You're gonna
welcome,
party, dude.
Definitely, Glenn, man. You're welcome anytime, buddy.
Oh, listen, everyone. Again, Angel Disability. Look him up. He does great work, and he's definitely worth your time and consideration. Right now, the Super Game Room dude should be going out at 9:00, and I'll be hopping over there as well for tonight for our after Thanksgiving special, if you will. So, Angel, listen, buddy. Thanks for coming on. I really appreciate you and the work that you do.
Appreciate it, man.
And give a big thanks to the missus for letting you do this for the community as well, because she has to.
No,
If you're
definitely.
doing this, you're not spending time with her, so we have to thank her as well.
Much love to you and your family as well, Glenn.
All right, everyone. And everyone in the chat, please hop over to Super Game Room
Take it
Dudes.
easy,
We'll be
guys.
over there. And Angel, my friend, have a good night. And
Talk to
remember,
you soon.
do what?
You too. Good night.
Say it.
To
What do you
watch-
do?
You gotta watch. You gotta watch the Glenn
Oh,
Retro
you got to
Show.
game on. Come on, say it. You got a game on.
Game on. Game on.